Hello, everybody. My name is Matthew Currin. I'm with Nicole Justice. How are you doing today, Nicole?
Doing great. How are you, Matt?
I'm really excited about this interview. I met Nicole just a few weeks ago. And so we've become friends over this time. And Nicole is going to be a big part of Convene. But before we get to all that, let's talk about who you are, where you're from, and just tell us a little bit about you.
Oh, goodness. How long do we have now?
As long as you need.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity to be on this platform. We connected with Convene. Super excited about the new doors that are being open right now. Positioning me to this place has been a bit of a walk. You know, I've been through some trials and tribulations through it all. As a business entrepreneur, I'm a creative mind to many things that come into my position. But really what we're focusing on right here and right now is lifestyles, health, and wealth. And that is a publication that was developed about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years, with a vision from God, just saying, you know, this is what I want you to do. I want you to position purpose on the platform, and I want you to share it, and I want you to bring people to the, you know, from the different places in the community to share their stories of what they do and why they do it. You know, prior to this, I worked in the medical industry for about 4 or 5 years with Hospice. And I was a community liaison, so I was helping a lot of people understand the concepts and the beauty of hospice. Yeah. And unfortunately, I had to see the real side and the truth to what was being exposed under this one particular agency that I was working for. It was showcasing that the medical industry was really turning to more of a profitable margin than a profit margin, a purpose margin and focus. And hospice is so personal. You know, it's such a personal opportunity to sit in front of families, and I'm honored, you know, to be able to do that and educate them on what's the next step of end-of-life palliative care, not end of life, but palliative care. There's a lot of questions that come up, and there's a lot of things that come to the table when you're in that place. So for me, it wasn't just about the business. It was about the purpose of what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I took a step away from hospice for about 3 years. And when I quickly stepped away at that moment, God blessed me with doing ministry, children's ministry, which I was like, really? This is what you want to do?
That's right.
I've never done ministry.
Yeah.
But he's been working on me for some time. And it was beautiful. So we created, he knows anything that comes across my platform is going to be created into a development of some type of business or organization. So we called it Justice for Jesus Children's Ministry. Brought it to basic in-home ministry, Bible study. It was so much fun. It was interactive. I do have my Facebook page on that. You can check out all the pictures. Really was more about the characteristics of Jesus and how do we build that into our children. Absolutely. And the reason why that was a big platform for me and my 2 boys, which are my biggest blessings and my biggest seeds, Connor and Cole. Connor is 16 and Cole is 12. No, I'm just teasing. He's 10, but he's getting older, and he's just a wise soul. Connor is my helper, the little, you know, just the engine that, you know, wouldn't stop. Both of my boys, I'm very thankful for them. But, you know, I didn't have that opportunity when I was a child to grow in Christ and to know his characteristics. I came through who I am today by just leaning to God and saying, you know, by the scripture, though my mother and my father forsaken me, you shall not. And not that they forsake me for good, but it was just, they didn't give me some of the things that I needed to go to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's when my life started to change about 4 years ago. So we had the Justice for Jesus ministry. We had the platform for the publication for Lifestyles, Health, and Wealth, which is here in the state of Louisiana. It's grown significantly, but with the transition of what's going on now with print, we're going to do a new strategy, and that's going to be Platforms of Purpose, which is going to be podcasting, partnering with Convene, and so many other measures, and your radio station too, the Radio of Truth Network.
Absolutely.
So super thankful to be on the platform, to be able to go, hey guys, this is me, Nicole Justice. I stand for the truth. Whatever I can bring to the to the table to help others, to lift them up, and to platform their purpose. Because once we find our purpose, like Romans 8:28, all falls into the greater good.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me today.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. And what I loved about when I first met you is the questions that you asked me. And if we can go back to that phone call when we were first introduced, I knew right away that, I have specific thoughts about Convene, what I believe the Convene message is, and the Convene mission, and it is to help others. I mean, really, if we never make a dime, that's fine. But as long as we're making a difference in people's lives. And I think you and I connected on that, because I think if you look at lifestyles and you look at your children's ministry and the things that you've done, that and working in hospice, I flew air medical for 5 years, 8 months. So one of the things I would do is talk to the families when they're in that extremist situation, because their lives are changed. So we've walked a lot of the same paths, but we also have the same mission, and that is to make a difference. So talk about that with lifestyles a little bit. Like what do you see the mission of lifestyles?
Oh, wow. So the vision was given to me. I love that intro. Thank you. And I agree with that 100%. The vision was given to me through supplication and prayer, just asking God where to go from here when I left hospice, and really wanted to have a focus because I don't have a college degree. Never went to college. I'm self-made through walks and connections since I was 16 years old. So the vision was all I saw was platform of a purpose, create, like it was like mountains, like you would have different individuals that specialize in those different fields, and we have 7 pillars is what we call it. Our structure is governmental, education, I'm reading them, make sure I'm not missing any, media, business, family, spiritual, arts, and entertainment. So those to me was a visual. And I saw mountains, and I saw the different individuals, column writers, sitting on the mountains with their hands folded. Maybe that's the Cherokee Indian in me. I don't know. But, on their folded with the flag. And then aside from that, I saw that we were going to be doing events. I'm an event planner. I've been doing events. I'm very precise to what I do, but I don't like to be in, half out. I like to be all in. And because when I put my name on it, I put my soul and my passion into it. I've been doing that for 20 some odd years, from working in hotels for 17. So I have that multidisciplinary talent coming. But then from the events, we also have an opportunity to take these business affiliates and the entrepreneurs, maybe from a small business, just starting out, not sure, to a story of our special story for the cover, which has just a purpose-driven, like a purpose drive to it that coincides with who we are. So it could be from small business to big business. It could be corporate, whatever it may be. But really, the publication was meant to develop and create ad editorial if it was a business affiliate or an organization.
Yeah.
Give me a subject matter of wisdom and value. When I'm in market sales, I always say, if you bring 2 things, you have to bring wisdom and value. If you don't leave those 2 things at the table, then they're not going to want more.
Yeah.
And it's a great way for a business affiliate to come on the platform and say, hey, I'm going to write about the purpose of what I do and what the value of my company is.
Absolutely.
And when you walk in that light, opposed to the profitable margin, it's times like this when we're hit with catastrophe, that your business is going to succeed through that.
Absolutely.
And but with that, you also have a continuum platform that you can write on continued educational components of what your business does.
Yeah.
I also, so we were doing that. We were creating the publication. It was really with no capital. So it was a lot of those seeds were placed.
Yeah.
I think even my own kids were like, Mom, why? Can we go on vacation this year? Can we? And I said, God's going to provide, and He has, and He's repositioning us from the publication, which we had to stop for about the first part of this year, because financially I just couldn't keep it afloat anymore. But then I have to look back at Walt Disney. Look, he tried how many times and filed bankruptcy 7 times? How many times was it?
Yeah, that's right.
So the vision's big. The vision for me was not just here in the state of Louisiana. It was just actually, state of Louisiana was just like a platform to trial it out.
Yeah.
I saw a bigger platform throughout all areas.
Absolutely.
how do we take lifestyles, which is trademarked? I did trademark that.
Yep.
That's how I felt so secure about what we were doing. And then how do we build that on health and wealth? Health is one thing, but wealth, it goes together.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't have wealth if you don't have health.
Yeah.
So we talk on all those 7 pillars: governmental, education, family, business, spiritual, arts, and culture. Make it fun. And we position it highly on social media platforms. We're growing in that avenue. We're now stepping into the podcast position with experts such as yourself that know how to do it right, that's teaching us how to do it. We're partnering with Convene, we're partnering with Convene to bring things to the next level. And we just want to take the vehicle, with the same vehicle. I have all my marketing stuff that was developed and foundation down. God gave me that vision, and we created the website and everything, and we're moving platform. But we're just going to kind of reconvene from print to another avenue.
Reconvene. I like that.
That's right.
That's perfect. And so, from the stuff and I've looked at your website, I've looked at the marketing material, we've talked a lot about this. You have a lot of good people surrounding you, and
yes,
a lot of good people that, bring their experiences, right? So I talk about Convene being a platform of experiential learning, right? We all have something to bring to the table. We all have something that we can teach each other. We all have those like-minded or like situations that we've walked, the path that God has put us down. So, there's a reason why we're here and why we're at the point and the time that we are is, it's not on us, it's on God's time. And bringing people together is what the mission is. And you're already doing it. I've been doing it. And now we're trying to merge and partner and bring that together. And it's exciting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sorry, are you losing me on the video? I need to I'm going to put us on airplane. Hold on one second. I didn't do that. I'm learning.
That's
Hold
okay.
on. Hold on one second. Let's see.
Pause in the show momentarily.
So sorry. Okay, I'm here.
All right. Yeah, we're back.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry about that. So it's all good. So yeah, it's exciting. You're bringing, you already have a good platform, right? And now we're gonna partner together. And we talk a lot about, being Christians. We've talked a lot about it being God's time, not our time. And I think
that's right.
Really where we're at in this world with everything that's going on is that it's on God's time. And
yes,
you're from Louisiana, I'm from North Carolina, and we just met through the platform, and we're gonna grow something special.
That's right. And while you're on that, I do want to mention a couple of names too. And I was just a visionary for this, but it was the people that brought it together to make it all happen, which were one in accord to our vision.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to not just the vision, but also the mission, and then to have the right characteristics and really right characteristics and ethic of business to build that foundation properly and precisely. So God positioned certain people in my life, aside from those that were the stories and the affiliates. But Christy Sufuentes, she was my writer. Dynamic, amazing woman. She's in theater. She works in ministry. She does her own jewelry. But when I asked her to help me write my bio, it was the first one that I positioned on the platform. She wrote, and she met me maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
She just did a magnificent job. And I knew right then and there that it was a vision for me to have her on board. So she's been part of our company and all of our writing for some time. But now that we're growing, we're going to be doing some more things. We're going to be hiring some different staff members to come in and help out. It's all in God's time. And like you said, perfect timing for the position for such a time as this. It's kind of like the Esther movement. Then we had a graphic designer. We had 2. We had Dawn False, who was one of our graphic designers who did a lot of my media campaigns such, and she did 1 or 2 publications. That was through AMP. So promotional advanced marketing company out in Louisiana, here in Luling, I think Luling, down in the bayou.
Yeah.
And she's an artist too, and she's just simply beautiful. This is our poster from our first arts and culture event. And then lastly, but not last, I mean, he was amazing. Dan Sauce, which was my graphic designer for most of my issues, because we had 9 issues that published. And you can see all those on our social platforms and everything. But he was the one, he and I together, he works in a clothing industry, very, very high-end clothing industry, but has a beautiful eye for the design and creative side. So he helped me, the two of us together. It was almost like he gave me the paintbrush, but then, well, he had the paintbrush, but I was kind of like guiding, or vice versa. But it was a team approach. Like there's no way I could have had all this take place. And there were many, many, many more that have helped us along the way, and given me and breathed life into the publication.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then lastly was my spiritual support system, and that was Gina. She's a really good friend of mine. Without her and her prayer, we wouldn't have. It was a birthing. I guess you'd say.
Well, what's cool about that is you said it earlier, and you're talking about community and building a team and building the right people. And I feel like what we're doing here is we're building that team. One of the best things that my team told me was, hey, get out of the way. You do what you do. Let us do our job, let us do our thing. And if you'll get out of the way, then it'll start, really growing. And I think that's so important, that you surround yourself with a team of great people and let people do what they do. And that you
can trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It takes some time to find the right people. And sometimes it'll transition out and you'll bring other people in. Yeah. But absolutely. And I know, Matt, that's hard for both of us sometimes to relinquish that control.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
You said you're a writer. I am a horrible writer, right? Horrible. When I got my master's degree in Christian counseling a few years ago, I wrote my first paper, and I asked my son, who's a great writer. My wife is a great writer.
I'm not a great writer. I will have help.
I'm not. I am horrible. And I went up and asked them I'm like, will y'all review my first paper? And after about 15 minutes, both of them were like, we will not do this ever again unless you write better. And so, I just got to
get it
down, and I'm just not a good writer. And it is what it is, but
well, you could be. And and the thing is, look, I was dyslexic when I was a child. Again, I barely graduated from high school, didn't have that much guidance, and no testing of abilities through how to write a paper. But what I will tell you is, when you have it inside, we all have a book inside of us.
We do.
And any of us can write it, or write it with the assistance to someone else. So I will have help writing my book. My book is going to be called Running Back to You. I love to run, and the enemy knows I love to run. That's why, every once in a while he'll do something to my hips to, look, I got you. No, you don't. I'm still running. But Running Back to You is a book based on my testimony, like how and when I would run. It was when I would really, all of this creative design or concept in mind all came to place. Even Justice for Jesus ministry was when I was running. It's my time, to really get that creative juice flowing.
That's really cool. And that's another exciting thing. I want you to meet Patty Moeller. Patty Moeller's author. She's a counselor. She has her own community within Convene as well. But we're getting ready to do a book review. In fact, I'm holding her book right here. That's Patty Moeller. It's
nice.
Renew and Restore. Just a wonderful
that's good
lady that I've met again through Convene. She's from Jacksonville, Florida. But we're going to do like a book study of her book, and we're going to go through chapter by chapter and all that. So we've had those conversations too. But it's the point is we're bringing people together.
Yes,
that's what's really, really cool. So let's talk about your community, because we're bringing your community with inside of Convene. I'm really excited about that. What you give me a year goal? What would you like to happen within this community as we grow it?
I think first off, right out of the gate, first and foremost, be able to lean back into or reach back into all the people that we wrote or we connected to with each publication. So close to really strong affiliations that I know have a message that we can then do a recording podcast on to post on, and then give them a platform to build their own community that will be a position for them in making maybe like a financial position, for their value. Like maybe they have I have a spiritual slash she's like a soul and spirit type counsel. She's just a wonderful woman that's extremely experienced in also the health side, which is she does for life transfer factor things. And she's just an educator. She loves to educate. She's got some great stuff. I'm like, why not put your information on here and sell it, not really to a selling profit margin, but to a informational, like a seed, you're placing it, but you're going to gain from that too, because you're placing it on the right platform. So I want these people to really, I want to position them, but then also to give them an opportunity of value so they can do something more for themselves and put themselves in the spotlight. Lifestyles is all about bringing purpose to the platform. And that's why Convene is a perfect location for that, because I'm not going to have print everywhere I go, which we're actually stopping that right now because it's so expensive.
It is. That's right.
And we're reconvening to a digital version. So what better way than to bring these connections to the table so they can platform. So my year goal is to build the platform nationwide, not just in the state of Louisiana. I want to outreach. I want people to know that their purpose matters. I want them to know, even if it's based on scripture, Romans 8:28, which is our foundation, or not. Everybody that is birthed into existence, you have a pulse, you have a purpose. That is a number one, non-negotiable statement. So let's find your purpose, in fact, we could be a motivator for that in connection with you and change lives and position people for such passion, in moving forward through life. I mean, that would be a blessing. So.
And that's so important to me. And that's why this partnership is so great, because we see eye to eye on so many things. And I think that's just wonderful. And, one of the things that I'm excited about that we've been talking about already, and we know it's next spring time frame, is doing a big conference, like bringing these people together, giving them a platform, an online platform, but then a speaking platform, And if you want to talk about God intervening and really bringing things together, that's one of my dreams. And so when we were talking the other day on the call, and you said, well, I do, events and big events. And I said, can we have a big one? And you're like, yes. And that's the goal. But the goal is that I believe that we can bring people together. We can bring communities together. We can allow people to sell their content, tell their story. Some people might want to sell content. Some people might want to just tell the story. Some people might just want to engage, and some people might want to sell your content. Right.
That's right.
That's what the platform is all about. But if we can give people a space where they can come to, they can create content, they can sell content, they can share content, they can ask questions, they can interact with other people that have gone through things. That's what we're all about. And so that's what's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And, in marketing and management and branding, just putting that hat on, I mean, when you're going to brand something, you got to brand it right. You got to bring it to detail. You got to have your color, your trademark, your whole kit and caboodle. You have your birth certificate on it. But then you, like a child, you got to raise that child. You have to, gotta listen to me. You have to raise the child into position and kind of be the bumpers on the side. I mean, being a mom of 2 boys, I'm learning how to build leaders. I want to build leaders in the community, and build good young men. That's no different from a business, and that's no different from an organization. As long as you have that like-mindedness, and when you have people that are coming to a transparency place on the market, and you can trust them, and that they're going to give you true information and platforms without, hey, give me, what am I getting in return? That humble heart, that's real important in today's world, because there's so many takers, and there's so many, and I'm just going to speak it out, there's so many falsified business leading type mentalities out there that you don't know which one to lean into. You see that they're building the money, but it's, again, that's when the money, the profit margin is outweighing your desire than the purpose. When you're built in your purpose, you're going to drive every force forward to make it happen. And when you're in alignment with people that are in that same mindset, monumental things can happen precisely and really quick. So events are just one of the great things to do with market management and branding right now, because people are hands-on. They want things that are tangible, that they can feel, touch, smell, taste. And Lifestyles was just another vehicle for me to say, hey, I love doing events. But I'm very precise too. I don't do everybody's event. I've been asked to do events before, to be the director. And it came to a point where it really wasn't in my control to do the event. So I just step out. I'm like, my name's not on that one.
That's right. That's right.
So for me, I want to make sure that it has a very streamlined message.
Yeah.
And events are coming. It's and it's so funny that we're in quarantine right now and we can't have events, right?
Absolutely.
The lockdown, if you think about that, not being able to communicate with people. Mm-hmm. Thank you for social media. Thank you for Convene. Thank you for this podcast, because without that, we don't have a message to each other.
Absolutely.
And we get stressed. And that's another thing with the Kula Foundation, with Hospice. We're doing podcasts. It's one of my first few podcasts that we're doing with Lifestyles, and we're doing it with them on the forefront, but it's an infectious disease doctor.
Yeah.
That's actually presenting the truth, not what everybody else is saying. So check that out too. I'm going to just plug that on there for education.
I was going to bring it up.
With the Kula Foundation, we're doing podcasts, and we have a hotline too that anybody could call. We have a psychologist and a psychiatrist clinically answering any questions 24/7. So I'll have that information over to you. But going back to events is a big part of one of the pillars to market and branding and education and bringing value. One of the biggest platforms with any event that I touch, you're going to have a platform of purpose. You're going to have a stage, and you're going to speak, and you're going to say what you do.
And that's important. That's so important. Well, this is really cool. What you're doing with the Hospice podcast right now is really, really awesome.
Thank you.
Having been in the world of, flying air medical, and I did 659 flights, and going in and watching people's lives change on a dime, because they're, the person that they love is sick and in, not a good safe situation. So anybody that works in that, I just have a heart for, because I just think it's so important for people to go into and do it right. Like you said, you have to do it right, because that is such a life altering time.
And it hurt me for a while to see how people could take money and put that on top of the purpose of having those discussions with family members like that. That just kept me away for 3 years until Cannon Hospice, which is one of the largest hospice companies out here in the state of Louisiana. They've been in position for 20 years. And I knew that I knew that I knew that it was the right movement, that it was a precise purpose and calling for me. And that is of my heart. So when going back to your heart as well, and your heart's desires, I mean, you've been positioned to be that person to help those people, and you see that, and it's a seed that you place for others and not for yourself. You feel it. So the hearts of our the desires of our hearts is what I like to say is I think it's a wonderful place when you know that you have them, but never to lose focus on them. Always to jot them down, know that they're of your purpose, know that they're going to come to fruition when it's in his plan and his purpose for your life. It's not going to go away. It's still there. It's just going to be in his timing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Well, that's good. And, I pray for, your community that it does that outreach. It does that. It brings people in. It just really kind of serves the purpose to really kind of bring a spot, Convene just a platform, but your Lifestyles community that I think you're going to do great things. It's going to be
Thank you. I'm excited for the next movement.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be awesome. And this will be the first of many. interviews, which
Mm-hmm.
we're going to keep watching the growth and keep working together on the growth. Really is
Yeah.
more like it. But I can't be more excited for where we are, that you've come to Convene and where we're going, because I think it's a true partnership that we can build on.
Absolutely. And also too, Matt, this position right here, this podcast is really putting me on the platform for the first time to reconvene
Yeah.
and to show my reposition in the brand and the market, as who here we are again. Here
Yeah.
we are now. And with Convene, that's making that possible for me. So thank you.
Yeah, no, anytime. This is going to be wonderful. So just tell everybody real quick. Obviously, you can find information about Nicole and lifestyles, health and wealth. It's a community inside of Convene. But
Mm-hmm.
tell everybody else where else they can find you.
I'm on LinkedIn. I love sending the business affiliates for a demographic drive. We have a few vehicles. We have LinkedIn, Lifestyles, Health, and Wealth. Building a YouTube. Well, I have a YouTube channel. We're building all of our podcasts onto that under Lifestyles, Health, and Wealth. Everything is lifestyles. I have a Facebook page, which is my personal page. I do share a lot of ministry stuff on there. So if you're not ready for that, just wait.
Yeah.
Or just don't read it. You might
Yeah.
read it one day, but Lifestyles has a page, and then I have a page. My platform's pretty big. It's growing significantly. We have our website, which needs to be updated. We're working on that right now. The website is a great avenue. It's a high optimization website done by Kara with Push Design.
Yeah.
She's pretty dynamic. I've interviewed a lot of people before saying yes to her. I told her, I said, I wanted a Ferrari engine with a Bentley style.
Yeah.
And I didn't want a Bentley with the Pinto engine. I wanted it done right. And, and she did a magnificent job. So we need to update that. We're getting back into position. Definitely check that out. Anything that you do with lifestyles, you would have your information on that website as well. So it's kind of like a digital version, like Convene is to our publication, or will be. So I think in the forefront right now, mainly is just social media, Facebook. I do Instagram, not too big on Twitter.
Yeah.
But LinkedIn, our website, and mostly Convene, because that's where I'm putting a lot of our updated information.
Absolutely. And we'll add all that too. I'll get all that information. We'll add it to this. Every time I do a podcast, it's a vlog, and it's a blog. So I do the three things, and that's kind of what we teach. And then we transfer that from our main website, convenecommunities.com, over into the communities as well. So
good. And if anybody has any questions, make sure that if we can post that, with any Q&A, would love to welcome questions. You can email me too at Nicole Justice, NicoleJustice, the number 28 at gmail.com. So definitely, reach out to me if you have any questions about marketing, branding, purpose, ministry, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
It's going to be awesome. I'm looking so forward to it. Can't wait to get this up and just grow your community. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Like I said. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.